We all know pesticides are critical for farm sustainability, but it is essential we apply our products to hit the target and stay there to improve pest control and to protect the environment. As applicators, we must minimize drift, so let's review current practices around spray drift buffers. And some of these have changed. You might notice some of your pesticide literature now lists mandatory downwind buffer distances that you need to know to fulfill the requirement of the Endangered Species Act. Now these are in addition to FIFRA requirements. For this video, we're focused on ESA. If required, these downwind buffer distances will vary by product, but you'll find them right on the individual pesticide label, which may require you to check Bulletins Live 2. And whichever instructions are the most restrictive, follow those. Our aim is to keep you safe and in compliance. The EPA's Pesticide app for Label Mitigations, or PALM, offers a mobile-friendly app to help you with spray drift and runoff mitigation requirements. Search for the tool on your computer, tablet, or phone. The first big question, does the label or bulletin from BLT about your product reference the EPA's mitigation menu website, specifically about spray drift? If the answer is no, you can close the calculator and follow the directions on the label regarding buffer distances and mitigations to reduce that buffer, nice and clean. An example of this is the Liberty Ultra label, which is a product where you get all the details on spray drift right from the label and not the calculator. But for labels that do reference the EPA's mitigation menu website for spray drift, let's continue using the calculator. Now this section is optional, but we recommend you keep it for documentation. For example, let's say field 1, product is weed science, crop is soybean. On the third page, we'll select ground broom application. Now this fourth section titled Conditions Not Requiring Ecological Spray Drift Buffers. If any of these 7 application conditions fit your approach, you're all set. You have fulfilled your spray drift buffer requirements. But a quick review of the options you'll notice don't match a ground application. Now let's review managed areas to help see if they can help you with the buffer. If these managed areas account for a downwind distance equal to or greater than the downwind buffer defined by the label or Bulletins Live 2, you're all set. You have fulfilled your ESA requirements. You can now go to the final summary and print your documentation. But let's see what happens if we say no. That leads us to the section focused on spray droplet size and boom height, 2 of the most powerful ways to mitigate pesticide drift. So here at the top of the page, let's use 100 feet as our downwind buffer. Now enter the minimum spray droplets provided on the label. If the label allows use of fine to medium sizes, enter fine. Next, enter the droplet size you are applying, but be careful, don't increase droplet size beyond the label recommendation. This can lead to less effective pest control and increased resistance. We don't want that. As you can see, moving from a fine to a medium droplet reduces my buffer down to 25 feet. It's important to note you only obtain credit for ground sprays when the label's minimum droplet size is fine and medium and your application uses droplets larger than the minimum required. Let's adjust the droplet back to fine just to keep our buffer at 100 feet. Next, enter your boom height. I'll click high boom. Again, this information should be available on new labels as ESA restrictions are implemented. More on that in a moment. The next section offers multiple mitigation options. You can enter the maximum labeled rate of your specific product, followed by your actual use rate. Be careful about reducing rates. Again, performance can be impacted and resistance development can occur. 24 ounces is the maximum rate. So if I'm applying 21 ounces, the calculator tells us the percent rate reduction, which is 13%, and a buffer credit equals 15 feet. The credit follows your percentage rate reduction pretty closely. Back to boom height. If you entered high boom on the previous page, and you're applying a fine droplet, simply lowering your boom will earn you 50% credit. Unfortunately, lowering the boom only receives credit when making fine droplets currently. Research has shown we can reduce drifts significantly by lowering the boom regardless of the droplet size. So we would strongly encourage you to get your boom down. Now, there are other ways to get credits too. Relative humidity, if it's 60% or more during application, that's a 10% credit. Drift reduction adjuvants, DRAs, get you 15% credit if you're applying a medium droplet and 30% credit for coarse droplet, but only for herbicides now. Down the road, this may expand to insecticides and fungicides. Hooded sprayers, drop nozzles, lay-by applications, and windbreaks also offer good credits, anywhere from 50 to 75%. And natural breaks like forest, woodlot, shrubland, and riparian buffer that are at least 60 feet wide downwind of the spray will give you 100% credit. Keep in mind, you must use the EPA's definitions. Those definition links are right in the calculator. Just click to learn more. Now, knowing all that, I go back into the calculator and make my selections. I hit next, and the last page will be the summary of my results. It will include the required buffer distance that I entered up front, along with our final buffer after we use the calculator. So I find myself at 25 feet. What else can I do? Well, I can alter my application or revisit those managed areas. I didn't have 100 feet of managed area to cover my initial buffer, but now do I have enough managed areas to cover my 25 feet? If so, I can use those areas instead of having my buffer in the field. So you work with it, you get it figured out, and the only thing left is print for documentation. Now let's say you're making an aerial application. Let's jump back and select aerial here on the third page. With aerial applications, the approach is similar. Application conditions and managed areas are the same. Where you enter your buffer requirement is the same. However, aerial applicators have more credit opportunities with spray droplet. In the drop-down menu, you'll see a very coarse or coarser option. Input your rate information on the aerial application ecological drift buffer reduction option section. Same approach as you did before. Yeah, say that 3 times real fast. Everything on this page is just like what we discussed except for the boom length mitigation. That's specific to aerial. Once again, the final page provides that important information that we need for printing. Okay, now let's talk air blast. While the maximum distance expected is lower than other application methods at 85 feet, the concept remains the same. There are several unique options, including specific equipment, the number of rows upwind treated, and skipping to the last down row, which earns a 50% credit. You'll notice my buffer went from 85 to 40 feet. Finally, for all of your applications, when you're tank mixing, follow the guidelines of the product with the most restrictive buffers. So that's it. Stay in these guidelines. Keep the application on target, and you'll be in compliance and effectively treating your fields. Good luck.